going on, guys? Doing a quick update from the Pacific Crest Trail. I think it's like day 110, not 100% sure. It's pretty hot out. It's been super hot here lately. Haven't had much service, haven't had much charging, so I haven't got to make a video in a couple weeks, I think, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. I think the last video I made, we're going into Burney. Burney was a cool little town. See if I get some of these views in the background. I know I've been leaving out the views. I kind of do the town updates, which I know is kind of ironic because very little of my time is spent in town, but it's when I know I'm going in to get charged and I know I'm going to be able to post the video, so it's just kind of trail markers more than anything. So yeah, Burney was cool. The locals were super nice. There was some trail angel there that used to run a water cache. She had to shut her water cache down because it was on national forest land, which I thought was interesting. Usually the rangers in like national forest, they kind of turn a blind eye because hikers never leave a mess. We don't destroy anything. As a general rule, I mean, like 95+% of us, we don't destroy anything. We clean up after ourselves way more than normal people in everyday life because we want to be able to hike this trail. We enjoy nature, so naturally most people that gravitate towards this type of thing tend to take care of things. But anyway, she was super nice. I cannot remember her name, but the trail angel from Burney was super nice, super gracious. There was some interesting terrain there. Had like red dirt all around there. Been a lot of interesting geological formations. We went into Mount Shasta. After that, it was some pretty easygoing hiking. I mean, lots of up downs. That's what everyone hates about NorCal, is the up downs. When you combine that with the heat, it is pretty brutal. It's not like you're climbing super high. Although just a few days ago, we saw the last patches of snow, which was crazy because it was so hot. But you can see, I mean, it's still mountainous all the way up through here. But saw our last patches of snow, which was hard to believe because I about passed out that day. It was so hot. So there was some kind of poetic irony. Then Mount Shasta was nice. One of our friends had to go back to Germany for work, which kind of sucked. We've been with him. He's the only person we've been with since the beginning. He had the same start date as us. Been hiking kind of the same pace. We saw him all the way up, and fortunately he had to go home. But it was nice that we got to spend July 4th actually in Mount Shasta with him. Mount Shasta is a very interesting town. You can look up Lumerians if you want to know about Mount Shasta. There is a very interesting population that lives at the base of the mountain. The town's very interesting. There were people going around into like the bars and stuff, handing out healing crystals. So yeah, feel free to Google that, Wikipedia, whatever, Lumerians, the Mount Shasta population. It's a very, very unique mashup of people. I heard some interesting and odd stories, but that's one of the best things about the trails, these really weird, eclectic towns that, quite frankly, I would never stop in if, I had a vehicle, because there's not much reason to. There's not much to them other than if you're doing something like the Pacific Crest Trail. So we did that. We went into Etna, which was a nice little town with a park. That was cool. People there were super nice. Very entertained by me. I guess they get a lot of, I guess they're not used to Southern politeness. It's kind of funny. I get called out for it a lot of times, but people love it. I feel like a lot of people on this trail have been kind of more gracious to me because I've noticed that a lot of people from all over the world, it's not just the U.S., but a lot of parts of the U.S., it's not like just, a lot of them don't have common courtesy, and I do. So there's been like situations where business owners will do things for me or give me a product, whatever, when they've told other people they didn't have it. But it's just because people are rude. So be kind, be courteous. It goes a long way. I'm just kind of used to that because a lot of people are that way in the South. A lot of parts of the country and the world aren't that way. But trust me, out here, it'll get you a long way because you stink. A lot of places don't want to deal with the stinky hikers, so just being polite and kind, it really does go a long way out here. So that's been interesting. California is not exactly a place known for a polite population. That's all I can say, although Northern California has been much nicer than Southern California. The guy that picked us up to go into Etna, super cool, took us to the breakfast joint down there. He was an avid fisherman and hunter, so it felt like a little Tennessee town, honestly. Kind of felt more relatable compared to a lot of places I've been, so that was interesting. Nice change of pace. Got to talk to him about trout fishing and things like that for a while. Super nice guy. The breakfast was affordable there. One of the best breakfasts I've had in my life. I mean, the breakfast sandwich was amazing and somehow affordable, which is interesting because most everything in California is more expensive. So we went there. It was like over 100 degrees when we got there. And then our next stop was Sayed Valley, which we just left a couple of days ago. It's just overgrown. The trail's like not maintained there at all. It's bushwhacking basically through a lot of that. And it's one of the hardest climbs in Northern California. Some people said the hardest climb because of all the blowdowns, and it's just overgrown with poison oak and all types of bushes that'll rip your legs apart. I have no idea why the PCTA does not get on it and clear that out, but it was absolutely brutal down and up into Sayed Valley. There's not much there. I'm surprised there's even a town there. The people that were there were really nice, but yeah, just surprised the town even exists there, to be honest. It's in the middle of nowhere. That's how most of this stuff is, but it's interesting that they can even get out of living in these places, because a lot of them get dumped on with snow, so I don't even know what they do in the winter. But a lot of people there, like, got around on four-wheelers, so it was that type of town. But yeah, I'm next to a road now. We're going into Ashland today. I finally made it to Oregon. It's been so hot. I know I'm missing a lot of detail. I've seen a few rattlesnakes up here. Toads so big that, I mean, I've never seen toads this big. I'm not sure what that's about, but missing a lot of detail because I'm trying to do a quick video. We are going into town in Oregon. This is actually my first full hiking day in Oregon. We crossed the border yesterday, so that was nice. It's been feeling like California would just absolutely never end. It's not even that the hiking was hard, it's that a lot of the trail is not maintained. We're going through a lot of thick stuff through here, as you can see, but even this is a lot better than some of the bushwhacking we had to do in NorCal. I really wish that they would clear out some of that, but it's part of it, I guess. A lot of up downs, kind of rolling hills. Hiking's not too bad. It's just been so hot. It's been over 100 degrees a lot of places. You know, you go downhill all day, which sounds great, but once you're down there and it's up over 100, well, then you got to climb back out. So a lot of people end up staying in these little towns just because it's been so brutally hot. So yeah, we're in Oregon. Mount Shasta is visible to my right. Can't really get a good shot of it on the camera, but it's one of the highest peaks. Didn't get to climb it. Takes a couple of days to really get over there, climb it. It's not on trail. It's not part of the Pacific Crest Trail. Not really easily accessible. The trout fishing's still been good up here, so that's been nice. I stopped the other day and pulled out like 10 rainbow trout in like 30 minutes. It was crazy. All small, but most of the creeks and stuff down here are kind of just filled with rainbows and brook trout. It's been fun having the little Tenkara rod with me. I would highly recommend it if you like to fish. It's just hard to do the mileage and stay on schedule. I would suggest section hiking. If you want to fish, pick a section you want to fish, and you know, you can spend a whole day on these stretches of rivers or ponds. So yeah, did that. Ruined my sunglasses. For some reason, this trail's just been super brutal. on all my gear. I basically had to replace everything. Nothing's made it through this hike, which has been crazy. I rinsed my shirt out and went to clean my sunglasses off, and just a little bit of grit on my shirt has ruined the second pair of sunglasses I'm on for this trail. So yeah, everything's been good. It's super hot. I'm out of breath. It's probably not the best update, but just thought I wanted to do a video before I went in, because I've technically hit 4 towns, if you can call them towns. Really only had one stop where I got to charge and do things. You know, I had a room to myself, which was Burney. Everything else just kind of been little pit stops with general stores, which I'm glad they're there, but if you want to buy stuff, there's not much there, and you're going to pay, you know, a 500% markup or whatever it is, just because they're in the middle of nowhere. Although several of the restaurants have been good, but that's probably because I eat nothing but noodles and mashed potatoes and candies and chips and bullshit all day, which sounds great to people. They're like, you just get to eat candy and chips all day? It's not great. Trust me, it's not great. It's miserable. You always feel bad. You gotta walk all day running on corn syrup and way more dye than any human being should have. Then you're eating like tuna packets, so you're getting too much mercury in your diet, but I won't go on about it. Hiking diets sound great to be able to eat anything you want. It is when you go into town and you could just eat cheeseburgers, but as far as trying to get, you know, 5,000-6,000 calories a day on what you can carry on your back, it's terrible. You feel terrible most days, and it's not good on your digestive system. I'll be glad to have fruits and vegetables and real food and be able to cook again. So yeah, update from Oregon. Hopefully I'll do one sooner than later. It's kind of crazy because distance wise and time wise, I guess California is just the majority of this trail, but you know, going from here, it's going to be like 7 weeks or less, or yeah, about 7 weeks that I have left on this trail, which is absolutely wild to think about, because I spent 3.5 months in California and went through the desert, went through huge mountains, and then I went through these forests that have kind of changed, but thank God there's some shade. Like, there's actually canopy up here, which is gonna only get better and more dense as we go into Washington. So hopefully that'll help with the heat. Maybe we can get lucky and not have too much rain in Washington. Got about 500 miles in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm just enjoying it. Kind of crazy that you walk so much further on this trail. You go 2,600 versus 2,200 on the AT, but you do it faster just because the hiking's just more forgiving. The trail's made for pack animals to get across it, so you just do it quicker. I'm hoping we avoid the rain up in Washington. All right, well, that's about all I got. If you wouldn't mind, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace out till next time.